Do you feel that these words are being used too often these days now? Kafir, Sartan se juda, and this entire talk about Ummah, this talk about Ghazwa-e-Hind. Should these words be removed from our lexicon? Blasphemy. These are all not Indian or our cultural ways. These are all concepts which are alien to this soil, to this land. Now let's get to what the chart sheet also highlights, and we will try and understand why I'm talking about all of this. What we have got is the entire chart sheet, and we've just tried to pull out some of the assessment that the NIA chart sheet has made based on the confessions, based on what has been told by these 8 accused A1 to A8. They developed hatred towards the Hindu community, people, during CAA NRC issue. What added to that was the hijab controversy and cow preservation activities of Bajrang Dal activists. Cow protection is enshrined in our constitution, but that was a problem. CAA, like I said, a misinformed narrative, and about hijab. Now these are the issues which they decided कि Hindus को सबक सिखाना पड़ेगा. So they conspired to create terror among people of the Hindu community and to fuel communal disharmony. So there are 2 aspects. One, to try and push fear and try and create a certain amount of fear psychosis among the Hindu fraternity कि चुपचाप बैठो कुछ नहीं करना. The other part is to deliberately create a rift in society in this area. Now who would that benefit? So that's another angle. We'll talk about it at length. They conspired and to create communal disharmony, ill will and hatred among the people of the Hindu and Muslim communities in Shivamogga. So this entire region, Dakshina Kannada region, has also now become the political hotbed to try and polarize the votes ahead of the Karnataka elections. So who are these entities who wanted to cash in on this and divide the communities? We'll ask that question in a bit. Now more details of this entire thing. The use of this word Kafir Bajrang Dal wale ko maaro. This is what has been used. Why is this word Kafir coming into our lexicon? Should it not be removed? That many people are saying that these words should actually be banned. They should be criminally punished for those who talk with this attitude. Because we talk about Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vidanti. That means there is only one truth, one God, one entity, one divinity, and multiple ways to approach it. This means lesser God, my God versus your God. So we have a problem there. Let's get into the chart sheet now. Based on the statement of protected witness and witnesses, recoveries of blood-stained weapons used for assaulting the deceased, and the blood-stained cloth worn by the accused persons along with the scientific results, CCTV footage near the crime scene, forensic lab reports and CDR analysis, it is clearly established that the accused persons A1 to A8 formed themselves into a terrorist gang and conspired to hack Harsha at Hindu Harsha, that's his handle, to death. Then they say in order to create a feeling of enmity and hatred between local Muslims and Hindus, and they also shouted while they killed this person, Kafir Bajrang Dal wale ko maaro. This was what was shouted. So what comes out most importantly as the NIA chart sheet, what does it spell out very clearly? That hate was the motive, to push fear into the other community was perhaps the intent, and assailants targeted Harsha with a plan to terrorize the Hindu community. Anger over the hijab rao aimed to create ill will and hatred among the local community there between the 2 communities. Hate the reason behind the murder of the activists, and slogans like Kafir Bajrang Dal wale ko maaro were raised. A gang of 8 was formed to identify local Hindu leaders, and Harsha was one of them who was identified. That's what the chart sheet says. I'm going to say that again and again. This is all as per the chart sheet. And they targeted out and set out to take him out. Now the question is there an underlying larger hate plot that is at work, where we see this Sartan Se Juda manifest, we see this Kafir Ko Maaro, all of these aspects. It started with chanting of slogans and shouting of slogans after the Friday prayers. Only yesterday here on the right stand, we put out the videos of women being trained to butcher inside the Lal Masjid in Islamabad, a foreign concept now being appropriated and used openly in India. Is there political appeasement and cover? Plenty of questions. Let's take it to our panel.